It is a fabulous Tuesday morning. Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Kruesi Originals, and today is going to be one of those days where I give you a big old update, a big announcement. Finally, one of those big announcements that I've been kind of teasing you guys with all this time. I'm going to drop it today. I'm going to tell you what it is. We've got two more coming, but this is one big bombshell that we're pretty stoked about, and I think you guys will be pretty stoked about. And it's kind of a time that all of you guys all around the country will finally get to maybe meet us or something along those lines. You can come hang out, maybe even ride with us, but I'll get to that. First off, I kind of want to go over some bikes and some projects that we've been doing in the shop that we haven't had time to like film and all that. So I know there's lots of bike projects and you guys follow those, but they're also not the only projects going on in the shop. Those are just kind of the ones that we're highlighting because they have something that is marketable for us, or we can use to kind of promote one of our parts or a build that I'm really stoked on and it's what I want to do. It's kind of the only way that I kind of take big builds on now, is if it's something that I'm excited about and something I want to do, because we have so much shit going on with all of the parts line and everything else. For me to take time to build a whole bike, it has to be something very kind of inspiring, if you know what I mean. So I want to be excited, I want to be fired up about things. I'm no longer the put a race tech kit in your forks job guy, which is awesome. Thanks to you guys, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But moving forward, let's talk about something that I've been working on, something that me and Trent have both been working on, kind of back and forth. This bike right here was one of the, actually it was not the very first. The old Soul Cracker was the first one. The old Soul Cracker was the first bike that we ever built at Kruesi Originals, like full custom crank out type thing. But then I built this one for my homie Matt De La Garza. We call him Matt Efron because he looks like Zac Efron's little brother. I've known him 10 or 12 years, somewhere around those lines. I built this bike originally 10 years ago, and we could drop some pictures in and let you guys see those right now. I probably have some, probably don't, to be honest, but I bet Matt does, and I'll get some from him real quick. This bike originally was a satin black 2012 Street Bob. We did 15-inch T-bars, because this was a long time ago. 15-inch T-bars. We powder coated everything this wild blue, which is right here. The bike was all satin black, and the wheels were powder. It had switchblade wheels on it. They were powder coated this blue. The handlebars were blue. The crash bar was blue. A bunch of the motor pieces were blue. I built the motor. It is still a 96-inch, but it has a Dark Horse crank in it. The compression is up. It's a 10.5 to 1 compression with a Dave Mackey 595 cam in it. This thing made like 106 horsepower out of a 96-inch. It rips really well. Sounds really good. The thing is a good time. Originally it had like 4/over tubes on it, 13.5 works, you know, like all the OG shit. Full fender, all that. And then Matt wrecked it a lot of times. Matt's wrecked this bike a lot of times. But then his dad painted it for him, and it was one of the first big like panel paint job builds that was out during the beginning eras of the panel paint job shit, when all that was first popping off. Matt's dad was kind of a very well-known lowrider car painter. He painted like a bunch of cars in Lowrider magazine, a bunch of super dope like Cholo style stuff, the old panel jobs. And he was like, yo, I want to do your bike like that. So Matt's bike was probably the first, or one of the first, like really well-known panel jobs out there. And it was all like a baby blue with a bunch of lace and white and pearl. And it was a super sick bike. Super clean. And that was about 10 years ago, I would say, probably 2013. And then I wanted to do, this was back when everybody was running a Ness fairing a long time ago. And the mid-glide fairings for these bikes, for like the 6 and up with the mid-glide front end, was that big square, really ugly, shitty fairing. I wanted to run a narrow glide. They're skinnier, it looks a lot better, but making a narrow glide work on this was something that was a huge job, but I wanted to do it really bad, so this was the bike that I did it on. I reshaped the whole bottom of this, cut everything in to fit, made brackets so everything bolts up really nice, had to make everything to fit, which it's a huge job. Don't just think you're gonna throw a narrow glide on your bike and make it work. It's days worth of labor and making all these lines dial and getting everything to line up really nice. We are waiting on, I need to replace one of these brackets because it's really old and the threads are toast now, so we have one on the way. And I got a weld to plug in and do a bunch of shit to that, but that's really all that's left on the bike at this moment. But so we did the fairing, everything was painted. It was a really nice bike, and Matt rode it for a long time. Matt also wrecked it a few times throughout that. Matt had a pretty famous meme a long time ago, like 2013, 12, probably when we did it the first time, where he like yard sailed a wheelie, and it's the bike kind of flooping out backwards. He's still got one hand on the bar, and he's kind of flying behind it like this, so him and the bike are like spread out away from each other, and it says nothing good happens after 12 o'clock, you know, and it was pretty funny. This was also back in the day when barely anyone could scrape fender or any of that shit, so being that deep in a wheelie was quite the feat. It was time for a refresh. So he got the bike painted by Chooch, and I think it is Cutthroat. We'll figure it out and we'll drop it down here below. Really good painter, really nice work. It was a lot of prep work for me to put it on. I would say he's a really good painter that's learning the motorcycle game and filling in a few holes that need to be filed out. But the paint is thick. I would say Matt will probably never need to paint this again because the paint is serious. This dude put some serious work into his paint job. It is quite beautiful. Matt is also the most patriotic Hispanic male you will ever meet in your entire life. Matt has everything as American flag. The bike has to have American flag stuff in it. His clothes are American flag. Matt is very, 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 very American. Very hardcore. So that's basically what it's based off of. Kind of a, still a little bit of a lowrider, kind of cholo style, very American flag representation, Evel Knievel sort of bike like that. He wanted sort of a panel style, Evel Knievel style paint job. Repowder coated all the stuff on the motor. Cameron did all that stuff. I did not have time, and I did not want to do this project. I told Matt I didn't have time for this, but Matt also didn't trust anyone else to work on it. So Matt's like, hey man, just put the tins on for me and I'll just drop it off and just do the tins for me. I was like, all right, dude, I'll get that done. I really don't have time. He drops the bike off in pieces with a giant list of everything that needs to be done. And I was like, you are a dick. But here we are. The bike is almost done. We did a set of Kruesi Originals foot pegs, front and rear. These are our pegs. They are the shit. They are fully adjustable with a cam lock style. They've got a nice roundness to them, so when you're braking, you're not just standing on a flat block like you're on a Lego or something like that. Got Elite levers on it all the way around. They are the gold and blacks. TC Bros 8-inch pullbacks with ODI bars. It's got a Dakota digital gauge in it, which I don't have the keys or I'd show it to you. Oh, this doesn't have keys. Look at that. It's blue. You can change this color to like a million different colors. It has like a rainbow effect. We did some Harley Davidson flush mounts. Definitely not my favorite, but it's what's available and what works. These are Pro 1 gold tubes. It's got Race Techs with gold valves inside of it. It's got Kruesi Originals tuck and roll gripper because this had the old school Corbin wall seat on it. Oh my God, it was bad. Those were bad seats. We just upgraded to a set of 14-inch Legends arcs. These are the heavy duties with a set of R shock sliders. It's got a Kruesi Originals subframe in the back, which I'm gonna be honest, Matt will probably never scrape this. But I set it deep because I wanted it to look nice, and it just looks nice and I really don't care. Our laydown kit, little bullshit tail light in there that's not centered on the paint, but is centered on the fender. Like I said, you know, measured perfectly center on fender, and this is not quite there, but it looks really good from over there. It's got one of our OG chain drive kits on it. This was the first bike that I built a chain drive kit for. I was the first person to produce and sell a bolt-on chain drive kit for Harley Davidson dynos. There was I think there was one other company with like some Chinese stamped out shit back in the day that was so bad. That's what we were running, and we just kept mulching the sprockets. So we got with PBI out of Portland, Oregon, and they started building sprockets for us, and then we developed this chain drive kit, and we sold this for 10 years. Now we have our own sprockets. PBI still manufactures our front sprockets because that's some real gnarly tooled steel shit, but we have some real fancy rear sprockets and really fancy chains and all that. We still sell chain drive kits, and I am the original. I know my chains. They call me Two Chains. It's got our derby cover, built-in Delrin slider. This guy right here is real nice for saving your primary that you no longer can buy. It's got a really old worn out foot peg on it for the shifter because ours are not done yet. Jay, we're still waiting on those, but we do have shift pegs that are super sick and should be out soon. We've only been working on them for about 2 years, but they should be dropping real soon. K-bar, we upgraded the K-bar to a new one. I didn't want to. I wanted to leave the OG one on there because that blue K-bar is the very first one I ever made. I made that in 2012. That was the first one, and that's where it all kind of started from. And it's been around, it's been through a shitload of wrecks. We've even kind of straightened it out one time. It's sticker blasted. I wanted to leave it on here to keep a little bit of nostalgia on the bike, but it didn't go with the scheme. Like, everything on here needs to be black. This is a super clean, really pretty bike. And that big sticker blasted thing kind of stuck out real gaudy like. I'm probably gonna hang that on the wall in the showroom, or maybe put it on a bike, maybe give it away. I don't think I could ever give that up. That was the first Kruesi Originals production part right there. It was the first one that I ever made and was like, man, I'm gonna produce and sell these. When I had that epiphany of, I should make more than one, that's when it all started. Because I've been making one-off shit for a long, long time, but I would just make the one and put it on the bike. And then one day I was like, you know, maybe I should make 40 of these, and then I could sell them and people might buy them. And they did, and it was life-changing. And now we sell parts, and selling parts and manufacturing parts beats the shit out of doing oil changes, let me tell you what. Other than that, on the bike, it's got the Bagger Brembo in the front, all the fancy stuff, ODI grips. All this stuff is available on KruesiOriginals.com, and for every $5 you spend on KruesiOriginals.com, enters you in a chance to win a custom-built Dyna by us. It is a Dyna this time, who knows what it'll be next time. We're gonna keep giving bikes away on a regular basis. And we're gonna keep building that bike until the day that it goes. Entries are open until July 14th. That's when it ends, and we just did a full suspension setup on it, and I don't know what we'll be doing next, but we're gonna keep doing stuff to it because thank you guys very much for all your support. I think that's about it with this guy. This is another project that we have going on that was just going to be, hey, can you guys just knock some handlebars out on this for me? And I went, you know, we could probably cycle that in really quick. And then he shows up, and the handlebars went from handlebars to, can you just build my whole entire bike for me? And I went, I don't have time for that shit. But here we are. This is a, not sure what year it is to be honest, a 2020 I would say, or newer, Lowrider S M8 Softail that we are doing handlebars, chain drive, and ABS delete, if you can see by all the brake lines laying on the floor. Getting rid of all the ABS brakes, we're doing an RCS 19 Brembo master cylinder, a Baja Designs headlight conversion, a fairing, just really, really whole lot of stuff. A lot of stuff, which we kind of have everything kind of mocked up and ready to go right now. We measured everything out. You got to build everything and then we measure the cables for the bike. We don't have like a set cable length that we do for bikes. I'm not a fan of that. I like to mock everything up and then take precise measurements because cables will ruin how good your bike looks. You can put a really dope set of handlebars on your bike and then your cable routing will look like shit, and now you've got a really stupid ass looking motorcycle. So if you want to keep it nice, take the time, do it right, measure out the cables, make sure everything is dialed and it routed properly and beautiful so everything looks clean. That being said, this is 6-inch pullback TC Bros risers, ODI bars, Brembo RCS 19 Master. It is the best master cylinder in the world. Braking is all about the master cylinder, not the caliper. Calipers are a nice add-on, but if you don't have a good master cylinder, you still have shit brakes. That's just a fact. Other than that, that's all we've done so far. Measured everything up, tore all the ABS out. All the replacement parts are on the way for that. With the 6-inch risers, you do not have to extend the electrical, which is nice. We already ran all the wiring harness and stuff for the Baja Designs. It's our Baja Designs headlight bracket relocation kit that we sell. Is getting a top mount. It's getting a bunch of all that fancy stuff. All this stuff, once again, is available on KruesiOriginals.com. And if you go buy all this, you could win that bike over there. But this guy will be fun. We'll be kind of like slowly keeping you up to date on this one. We'll have maybe a little bit of a video and a bunch of pictures and propaganda from Matt's bike, but it's just kind of one of those things where we only have enough time to really film one project at a time, so you don't get to see everything else that's going on in the shop. And I kind of wanted to like give you guys a little more in-depth look at, there's more going on here than just Terry's 135 and just my Corvette. The Corvette is sitting. In fact, I got to work on the Corvette tomorrow. I got to put another new steering rack in it because the new steering rack blew up and is pissing fluid all over the place. And we have an event June 8th out at Wild Horse Pass, Modded Culture, Sling and Smoke. This is the first one of this year. It is the Summer Bash, and it is sick. It's super huge. They rebuild to scale the Bihoku, I'm gonna butcher that. The Bihoku track, it is a famous track from Japan, and then they rebuild the whole thing down to the very last inch of it, and you get to run that. West Track is open. It's like a road course through the desert that everybody gets to drift. There'll be drag racing, bunch of car shows of every genre of car show you could imagine. We'll be riding stunt shows out there. We'll be doing a little bit of bike drifting and several stunt shows throughout the night. It is from 8 to 2 a.m. is a night show because it's already hot as shit out here in Phoenix. But if you got nothing going on, or you do have something going on, drop it all and show up to Sling and Smoke June 8th. It's going to be the shit. You can go to motoculture.com and get tickets for that. It is a sick, sick event. One of the funnest things that I've been to, hands down. It is maximum carnage of the combustion engine world. It is an EV-free zone. It is a beautiful, beautiful time. I'll have my vet out there. I'll be slinging that shit. We'll be riding stunt shows. It is gonna be a good time. We'll have all the drift cars out there, actually, and all the bikes. Probably drift some cars with some bikes and do some crazy shit like that. But come check it out. We'll be out there. Get Vertical will be out there. I think maybe the Senders Only boys might come out and some other people. It'll be a good time, and you can see us all shit up. Oh, they have a donut pit. They have the Swing King competition. That's just carnage. That's just motors being exploded and cars being smashed into K-rails. It's probably my favorite thing to watch, honestly. But that's June 8th. Back to Terry's bike. Honestly, here she is. It is done. We are just running heat cycles on it. I'm pretty much just running one heat cycle a day. It's just a nice, safe, slow way of doing things. I bring it up to a mild amount of temperature, let her cool all the way down for the rest of the day. The next day I bring her up to a little bit warmer, let her cool down, and just keep doing that until I bring it all the way to full operating temperature. I run about 5 heat cycles. Then we'll ride it around the neighborhood. We'll check everything out. Then we'll ride it for 50 miles. We'll change the oil. We'll check everything over again. And then we'll put 250 miles on it, check everything over again. It'll be in 50-mile increments. Well, we'll just go through and nut and bolt the whole bike, check everything, check the plugs, check everything, that type of stuff. It's a process. And then the bike will be shipped out to Chicago, Illinois, out there to Illinois. This is another little project that I've kind of been working on. I've been trying to make this bike street legal and like streetable for a long time because it was just a straight up race bike. And it was not a streetable bike. It was way too powerful, way too light for the amount of power that it made. It had no lights, it had no kickstand, it had nothing. It was a straight up trailer it to the track race machine, which I want to make it like a supermoto that I can go destroy some sport bikes on the street with. So we did have it retuned by Trask Performance. We tuned it back onto pump gas. It made, I think, 142 horsepower on pump gas. It was making 150 and 150 on race gas when it was on T4. It made 150 and 150, and we tuned her down to like 140s. She's around 140 right now. And it feels a lot better. It's a lot smoother. It's not so god-awful. It's still an adrenaline rush to ride this motorcycle. If you didn't see the video before, we have one of our vlogs. I took this thing for a ride, and we filmed it, and it is so violent. Like, third gear, you can just give her gas, and she's doing a wheelie. Like, if you want to wheelie this, you do not clutch it because you will be on your back. You just go vroom and it's, yeah, I'm riding a wheelie. It's nuts. Dyna Nate came and rode it. He loved it. I've got one last thing to do coming this way. Actually, Trent did the tail light in it. I built this guy, built a side mount, and then Trent wired up this tail light, which is kind of made out of a few tail lights in one. And then I've got a factory kickstand on it. But as you can see, the bike's gonna have to lay in its side to touch the kickstand. So this has got to go over to the fab side. I'm going to have to cut, extend this, and like basically reshape the whole thing to get it to line up properly when it goes back here and look right and all that stuff. I've also got to straighten some shit out because when Sean wrecked this in Sonoma at Bagger Race League, I've noticed that I'm sitting a little cockeyed in the back now. Like something got just a little tweaked back here, which my wheel alignment is still true as can be, but I'm just she's a little wowed out. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But I am going to have to figure something out, and I have a few ideas. I think I might do what I did to the stunt tail and redo this and probably get rid of this support right here, move the shocks back up to here, because I think this got a little bent in. And then I'm going to build standoffs, probably like a 3-inch standoff. Get the lift in the swing arm instead of up in the top, which I'll still leave all the frame structure and all this brace in here, but just trim this in and make it look really nice, and then mount the shock off up here where they normally are on a factory swing arm conversion. Which we do have these swing arm conversions back in stock. I need to go pick the swing arms up. I keep forgetting about that. For any of you guys that are looking for these, call the shop. We can get these going again. I think we got like 3 or 4 swing arms made right now. And they're not really readily available because they're really, really hard to get made at this point. So other than that, she is coming along. She's super violent. Gonna get it all dialed in. I really want to sell it because it just sits around here and it doesn't get ridden because I have too many motorcycles. And on that note, let me take you through a walk on how many motorcycles I have that don't get ridden around here that I need to sell. I'm not going to show you all of them because a few of them are secrets. So for starters, my stunt bike still has a blown tire on it from the last stunt show I did during Bike Week, April 6th I have not rode it since. I blew a fork seal again, and I don't want to put a fork seal in it, and I just don't want to work on it, to be honest. So it's been sitting here, and I haven't really been wanting to ride because my neck's been kind of again, and I got some CT scans tomorrow to see what's going on with that. So until I get an answer from the doctor, I'm going to kind of ease off on the fake neck titanium crippling things that I do all the time. So kind of losing feeling in my hands again. So they're going to get that figured out, and then once they go, yep, you're good to go, then old Silver Fox will be back on the road again. I've also got the old twin cam Softail over here. This is probably my favorite bike to ride, to be honest. I love this thing. It is really fun. I just never ride it. I never have time to ride shit anymore. It's really frustrating. I want to do more rides, and I want to do more stuff like we just did the last weekend, and that was a blast. I want to get back at it, and this is a really, really fun bike to go rip around on. This is the giveaway bike. For every $5 you spend on KruesiRentals.com, enters you in a chance to win this 05 Dyna right here. She is pretty flossy, got 27,000 miles on it, whole lot of good Kruesi Originals parts, whole lot of Legends parts on it, Saddleman, Stealth, all the fanciness. She is a really, really, really nice riding bike. That is also in all of our vlogs. We built this whole bike, all the videos there. Probably gotta do some other stuff to it. Just keep building it as we go. I need to pop it out, take some pictures of that today. Oh, let's go this way. I got another one in here. That guy's for sale. Race bike is for sale. I always say that my stuff is for sale, and then I never do anything to sell it. So right now, this stuff is for sale, and hit me with your best offer. I'm really, really, really keen to sell them because there's something else that I really, really want to buy that I need about 15 or 20 grand to make happen. So if I can come up with 15 or 20 grand, we're going to build another project in here that is not like what we normally do, but it is going to be super sick, and I think everybody would be pretty stoked on it. And we'll probably start a whole nother YouTube channel around it, to be honest, and maybe a whole nother brand, because when I get like an idea of going, oh shit, I could build this out of that, that would be sick. No one's ever done that before. I have to do it. And I am fanatically researching for like 2 weeks, nonstop, no bullshit, 3 to 4 hours a day of down the rabbit hole of figuring out how I can make this happen. And I really, really want to make it happen, but I need to be responsible and get rid of some things. So these are for sale. This guy's for sale. If you know anything about this bike, if you don't, go check out the Stunt Tail series. There's a whole bunch of stuff. This was the first twin cam Softail to ever ride a sit down, clutch up from sit down, legit sit down wheelie on a twin cam Softail. And I scraped it, and she went super deep, and it is a rocket ship, and it will outhandle every single bike out there. I don't give a shit what it is. Nothing rides like that bike. In here, and then there's my monkey. My poor dirty monkey who got wrecked really bad at the Metro Mayhem show during bike week. I dropped back for a hand drag in front of a large capacity crowd, and the lot was so slick. The guys that rode that lot, you're badasses. It was a hard one to ride. And when I dropped back for a hand drag, I dropped back into the brakes, and the back tire just went yeet, and just shot right out from underneath me and weeded me up really good, and my ankle cracks and pops every time I walk still. And the other side of this bike is pretty smoked. It crushed the whole foot controls, everything, which we kind of straightened back out again, but it also jacked up all the electrical on that side, which I'm gonna have to fix all that and redo it, because she won't even run now. It just kills itself as soon as you let the clutch out, because it's got some safety switches that are effed. They're effed right in the A right now. I got effed up the A, and that was that. And then Tom, show him your foot, Tom. There it is, that's a nice sock. That's the hospital sock that you're still running, huh?
Yeah, the nice dirty hospital sock they gave me.
Well, he got himself one of them dirty old greasy hospital socks on over there. And, you know, he comes in, he's like, hey man, look at my foot. And that was that. Grom got him. The minis will get your ankles every time. Ankle biters. Ankle biters aren't just small dogs, they're small bikes as well. I've broke mine on the old pit bikes a few times. We've got shirts in stock. Superfly. Got that new shit. That's a T-Sport Sunrise. Whew. That's a goddamn V-twin with an eagle right there. They're in stock, tons of shirts, tons of merch, everything. Everything you buy gets you a chance to win that dyno. It's awesome. And also, if you guys aren't members on our members only shit on YouTube, it also gets you early access to all these videos, so you don't got to sit around until Tuesday or Thursday to watch them at 5:30 when they normally drop. You get to watch them as soon as we are done with them, as soon as they go onto YouTube. It goes live to all of our members, and it also helps us out do more stuff, and thank you very much. Old Little Red here has just been, you know, endless. It's just been endless is what it's been. I've been to 3 track days and I've made 2 laps so far. Only one of them was successful. The other one, the throttle cable stuck wide open and I just had to ride the Lightning all the way back up into the trailer. Where once I went into the trailer, I was on limiter and I just up into the trailer, hit one of the wheel wells, bounced her off the wheel well, blew my alignment all to shit, and then slammed into all my wheels that I had spares stacked into the back, which then smashed in the front of my bumper and up one of my new wheels. But that problem's fixed now, allegedly, and the power steering rack is leaking fluid all over the floor because you can't get power steering racks for Chevy Corvettes anymore because they're obsolete, so you got to order repops from China for $500, which costs twice as much as they did OEM when they sold them OEM, and they are pieces of shit. So I got another China piece of shit that I'm going to put in there and hope that it does not leak as well. I kind of want to keep the one I'm taking out and have Phoenix Rack and Axle rebuild it, which I found out that Phoenix Rack and Axle rebuilds steering racks, which would have been really nice to know. I could have got the old steering rack rebuilt for probably a lot less money and it would have been a hell of a lot better. Those are problems for tomorrow. I'm going to do the steering rack tomorrow, realign everything, get everything dialed in. We're going to go through the tune a little bit, run some fucking auto tunes on it, get her dialed in a little bit better. So we are ready for June 8th. Sling and Smoke Motoculture event is going to be sick, and I'm hoping to get 3 laps in. If I get 3 laps in, man, I'd be happy, because that's been the most frustrating shit ever. I just want to drift that car so bad, and it's just been effing me right in the A, hard and deep. Oh, I forgot the most important thing, the big announcement. I put you guys on the hook for this big ass announcement, and then I forgot all about it. All right, well, here it is. You know what? Let me get some coffee. Do you guys want to know what it is? Are you even ready for it? Comment down below if you're ready for it. I'll wait. Okay. This is one of 3. We have 3 big announcements coming on. It's not the biggest one. The biggest one's going to wait for last. July 11th on YouTube. That will be the big announcement. We'll be dropping July 11th, and that will be one that we're super stoked about. But this is probably, I'd say, the biggest show, the biggest event, the biggest thing that we've ever been involved in. And the contracts kind of went down today, and it is happening August 1st through the 3rd. Whatever Friday and Saturday is, the first weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the first weekend of August, we will be in Sturgis, South Dakota, riding motherfucking stunt shows, tearing it down, and we are throwing an after party at the Thunderdome. We're going to be at the Thunderdome. The place is called the Thunderdome. Could we have a better place for us? I don't think we could. I really don't think we could. It's 4 acres of stunt lot. It's a big 30,000 square foot giant bar. They built a bar that overlooks the stunt lot. They have a drift track. There's going to be cars drifting. You can ride along with professional drifters. There's going to be stunt shows going on from us, me, Trent, Senders Only, Joey and Dirty from Senders Only will be out. And then we're going to have an open lot day on Wednesday, that coming week afterwards during Sturgis, where all the homies that'll be in town, we're just going to shred the lot for the day. Sunday, we're going to be co-hosting with the Thunderdome a big-ass party in their giant bar. We'll be riding stunt shows. We'll be partying. It's going to be sick as hell. If you guys have ever been to one of our after parties, you know how they go. You know how wild they are. It is going to be a really good time. And this is in Sturgis. If you don't know what the Thunderdome is, I'm not surprised, because this is the first year of it. It used to be called the Beaver Bar. It's in like the #1 intersection in Sturgis, where you come up, if you've ever been to Sturgis, there's the big intersection with the big ass giant gas station, and then that one big giant bar, and then you can go this way to the Buffalo Chip. The Full Throttle used to be across the street. Glencoe Campground is right down this way. Sturgis is right here. It is the spot. It's like the intersection to ride wheelies through. It's the intersection to be seen. It is the hot spot where everybody goes, and we're going to be right there on the road, tearing it down. Brought to you by Harley Davidson, brought to you by Law Tigers, big dick swinging. We are coming out real hard for Sturgis. We will also be set up there. We will be selling merch. We'll be doing the whole thing. We'll be there all week. We're going to be in Sturgis. I've been to Sturgis a million times. I never really wanted to go back to Sturgis, quite honestly, because it's goddamn expensive. It is sick as hell, but we finally have a way to get there and it not cost us 20 grand. Super stoked. We also just bought a toy hauler, which we bought this toy hauler and we were pulling out of the parking lot from buying the toy hauler, and I told Trent, I was like, man, we could go to Sturgis now. We have a place to stay. He's like, yeah, that'd be sick. I'm like, now we just got to find a way to like make some money so it don't cost us so much money to get there. And he's like, yeah, that'd be sick. And then my phone rang and it's like, hey, what's up, man? It's Gabriel, Law Tigers, California. you guys got any interest in going to Sturgis this year? I was like, get f***ed, are you serious? And then boom, it just went from there. They hooked us up with the venue at Thunderdome. This has been like a month-long process where we've been kind of working out the analytics and making it happen. This first year is gonna be a big test run for us. Just like Metro Mayhem was here for Bike Week, our event we did was massive. Thanks all you guys for coming out, it was super sick. But that was a test run for us for next year, for the sponsors to go, boom, next year let's do something big. So next year for Bike Week out here, we are doing something very, very big, probably a 2-day event out at Wild Horse Pass. 660 acre, just motor gas burning paradise. It's gonna be amazing. But this year, this is gonna be a little predecessor to see how all this goes. And if we do well and we pop it off, like I know we will, you guys will come through, you are the shit. And it's gonna be big. Then next year, for the 85th anniversary, we will be doing Metro Mayhem, full-blown show like we do, full-blown comp, everything you could imagine, the whole modded culture involved, super big, maximum chaos for 3 days in Sturgis at the Thunderdome. It's gonna be the sickest shit ever. So come out, show some support, come out and party with us. It will be a really, really good time. Stay posted because there's even bigger announcements than that coming. And it's been really hard for me to keep my mouth shut. But I can't say anything until July. So like, subscribe, ring that bell, because when this shit pops off, you don't wanna miss it. We're about to revolutionize the motorcycle world forever. KruesiOriginals.com. Peace.